bro to play this build. Swap, get my charges, yada yada. Alright, so we open the map, we walk in, a weapon swap here, I have a red blade. You can't do this, but you can still do this in the future. You look at this crucible tree, it has +2 to minimum charges. This one has... I think I was planning on getting plus minimum charges, but it comes with a cost of max, so I didn't bother. But you can see here it has a redeemer mod of +2 minimum frenzy charges, so that when I swap, I gain all these charges. And without the weapon, it'd normally be... With the weapon, normally you just have 2 charges, and then when you swap back to your main weapon, you have 2 consumable charges. It's a way to jumpstart you in the beginning. By doing that, start the map. We weapon swap back, we have consumable charges. With all our flasks, we approach the first enemies. Now we have Soul Eater. Now we have plenty of charges so that it's high enough. God is Ghosted Exiles. Oh, we need to get faster first. My filter is terrible, so you're gonna have to deal with that. This is the gameplay of Soul Thirst, if you've never seen it before. Soul Thirst Flicker. It's been around for a while. Did I get hit by a ghost? Did I get hit by a ghost? There's something you have to be a little concerned about, and something I think people have told me has talked about, is that there's a ghost. I don't remember which one it is. But one of the ghosts has an effect that when a possessed monster hits you from said ghost, you lose the effect of all of your flasks. You don't actually lose them being active, but you do lose all the effects, including like the Soul Eater and whatnot. You can see here I don't have enough charges to like deal with Ghosted Exiles, but that's the map. That's how you play it. Like, it's very straightforward. You can see all of my charges here. Most of the monsters are dead. This was like, here's the modifiers. You're like, I don't know. You're not the tankiest build in the world, but you are tanky. Like, I run 2 defensive auras, run Grace Determination. You can see here the stats are pretty low, but like when you're rolling with all of the elemental flasks, and then you get a little bit more armor evasion from this stuff, like, it's okay. You see this one has like less armor, right? They have more accuracy. You have Vuln. Although I think I have reduced curse here. But like, you can easily hit 100 on this build. Like, that's what I did on this build. I just spammed city squares for a very long time. I did a little bit of crucibling, but when I went from like 99 to 100, I stopped doing crucibles. But that's the build. It's very straightforward. I'll post like a POV with it as well. Good. This is like the final version of it. At least the final version that I'm playing. Maybe not like the final version you can make ever. You can definitely optimize it further. But some things to really consider is that you absolutely need to have good flastration between clusters here and just like the regular jewels. You also get flastration on them. You can see a bunch of my stuff's gonna be like multi-flastration life, yada yada. My Kurui jewel, I don't remember what it has. I think it has like double damage, intimidate, something of that nature. Maybe not even. Just looks like a bunch of melee damage in life. It's like a very defensive Kurui jewel. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. You see more flash effect, duration. But that's Soul Thirst. It's pretty straightforward. Thanks, Vivi, for the follow. Let me see if my Righteous Fire character is still put together. Simply Ferrari. Not a good sign. Missing flask, missing a chest. Missing a belt. I was wearing a Mage Blood at some point. Oh, it was offs. Oh, right. I was testing something was offs. I think it was whether it kept the fire resistance roll when it upgraded. I think it doesn't, right? Yeah, it just like rerolls the fire resistance. That's why I have like a bunch of Zoffs in my inventory. But either way, let me find where I have a Mage Blood. Vicious Enjoyer, maybe? Post stream too long, BG3 when? After I do a map or 2 with Righteous Fire so people can see it. Oh, that's not a good sign. There is a Mage Blood. Bone Zone wouldn't be playing with it, I don't think. Normally play with Chains of Emancipation, right? Nope, he was playing with Mage Blood. Oh, right, because I had respec this character to be reverse Cycloner. Yeah, so this was a fun character. I can show like a little bit of this character, just for fun. It's not really like a functioning character. This was me trying to get Ghostbusting to work, like solo Ghostbusting to work, but it's not really a thing. Just like put it in a township, it doesn't matter. You show the self-chill RF. Yeah, I'm going to do that after this. I was actually looking for the Mage Blood to put it back on the character to run a map, and then we'll put up a video and all that stuff. This character's objective was just to pull the entire map and never die. See, he has like reverse cyclone and all this stuff. This also kind of goes away with Crucible, or at least the setup I have. I'm using the Crucible passive that makes it so that your Cyclone always knocks back and is reversed. But you can do it with like Emperor's Grasp or something. I think Ghostbusting is still going to be too scuffed next league, because like it's not necessarily a problem of the duration or the life of the ghost, because you can see it here. Like I can pull the ghost through, no problem. The problem is that a long time ago, in a land far away, they nerfed Ghostbusting, which is the act of pulling lots of monsters together like this and possessing them, touching them with the ghost, to the point where ghosts only ever affect 50 monsters. And you can see here, like I'm pulling a lot more than 50 monsters. Even if I have like 10 ghosts, like you pull more than 500 monsters in a map. So like you can do stuff like this, but unfortunately until they buff the amount of monsters that you can touch with a ghost, like here's a ghost, but like he's way over the limit. Like he can't touch all these monsters. He can touch like, I don't know, a tenth of them or something. But until they rebuff that or undo the nerf or whatever you want to call it, then I don't know. It isn't very useful. I was doing it, like you can do it with a bunch of different things, and also it gets a little laggy. It's okay here. Oh yeah, this also, we can show off some more tech. This is something fun that I think people underutilize this a lot. So you notice the monsters are kind of like stuttery, right? I'm not lagging. They're just getting stunned. All of them. So something that I think is really underutilized, and I remember finding this out last league, is you have this stun mastery here. There's a 25% chance to deal a stunning hit to nearby enemy monsters when you're stunned. So you have like the whole shenanigan where you have agnostic, you always get stunned, yada yada yada. You can look up people doing the blood notch builds, right? Like it's the shell of the blood notch builds. But they don't play with that mastery. I feel like that's wrong. You can see here, look how far away these flame harbingers here, or like these carrion queens. Nearby for this mastery is your screen. It is massive. And that's it for like any, you don't have to be, you know, blood notch build for this. Like you will just get stunned every now and then when you're mapping, I feel. And it just gives you a screen-wide defensive application. Some random white monster hits me and this rare Stygian is stunned. That's incredible. But either way, this character is kind of scuffed, and it, the functionality of the character is right. The functionality of Tormented Spirits, unfortunately, does not work. It's fun. You can just pull things around. This hasn't been like a viable thing for a very long time, in my opinion. What's his build? It's just a reverse Cycloner, alright? He just does the suction. Also, look at this Prismatic Eclipse. I spent way too much on this. The main problem is that I needed this on a Prismatic Eclipse, and it's very hard to get. There were like not enough people playing when I was trying to make it, so I had to make a Twilight Blade with it. You stun bots with that? I think so. I don't remember. We can go. This is a bad map for it. I need to find a map that... Let me get like an arcade or something. Because this guy is isolated away from everything else. Meepin tab. Meeps. Arcade. Sure. Go. Or does it have normal diminishing returns on bosses? I mean, if bosses have the, like, you can't stun me after I've been stunned recently, then it applies regardless of what your source of stun is, but I don't think map bosses have that. Ugh. This guy needs a Quicksilver. Although he doesn't, because you can kind of see here, I don't have a Quicksilver, and I'm a Letty too fast for the monsters. Like, they drag behind me. Just for the purposes of reverse cycloning, you kind of have to slow down for the monsters. This character also uses, I think it's an attack mastery, this one, where you get 5% attack speed per close enemy. So, like, the attack speed doesn't matter. Like, you can't attack fast enough to make it so that you can be quick. At least that I have found. If other groups have found it, or other players have found it, then that would be sweet. But you kind of have to, like, slowly drag monsters along. We can see here. Yeah, they're stunned. You see they have, like, the boss diminishing, though. Maybe this guy did. He's stunned here. He's not stunned. He can't be stunned for 4 seconds, I think. Maybe 2 seconds. Maybe he can be stunned. It doesn't check against them. Like, it's not, how do I put it? It's not like I'm hitting them with, like, a Bone Shatter or something where it's checking my damage against their health. It's just, if I'm stunned, they're stunned. The end. But you can see bosses, like, you can see this guy here and this guy here have, like, the... They have, like, an anti-perma-stun shield, as far as I'm aware. That being said, if you have extremely long stuns, I had this happen when I played Bone Shatter for a while. I was playing Mace Bone Shatter like a couple leagues ago. And it was really annoying because at the time Dunes was like a map that we were spamming for experience or just like events and whatnot. If you stun, you could stun Hillock, who's like the boss of Dunes. You can stun him for something like 10 or 15 seconds. And if you didn't have high enough damage to kill him before he started transitioning, he would start transitioning, you would stun him, and he's actually immortal until he pulls the sword out if he's in the transitioning phase. You can kill him beyond that. Like, if you kill him fast enough, he doesn't ever become immortal. But if he gets into the transition and then you stun him, he's like locked in the transition and you can't kill him for 15 seconds. It was super annoying. It drove me mad to the point where I just stopped running Dunes. It was incredible. You feel like it would be really good for Expedition Harvest? Yeah. No, I think this is really good. I'm a little concerned that it's only useful for Blood Notch builds, but I don't know. I think you could play without Blood Notch builds. I think this only has... Does this even have Immutable? I don't remember what I have. Yeah, I have an Immutable. This doesn't have Blood Notch, I don't think. Do I play with the Blood Notch? Who knows? It doesn't look like I do. This guy don't need it. You big, strong jug. But the problem is that, so you need, like... You need this silly thing. You need Energy Shield Mastery. You need Agnostic. You would ideally have Immutable and then a Stun Mastery. But I think even without that, you can do it. DPS, and if you kill the pobs there, yeah, this character has like, I don't know. I think this is actual DPS. I think it's actually 6,000, 7,000. Either way, let's do some Righteous Fire. We'll play with the Mage Blood because I never made a non-Mage Blood version. I don't remember how to play this character, so it's probably going to take me a map or two. Yeah, but it's not like they nerfed Blood Notch. Yeah, no, so my point is, Ventura, if you, in regards to Blood Notch specifically, if you have Blood Notch, you don't need that because you're immortal. Right? Or at least in theory, you're immortal. But I don't know. Another layer on top of the Blood Notch for 4 points doesn't seem like the worst. Like, you can do it in Simulacrum, right? Seems fine. What am I missing here? A ruby and I don't know, something. It's been so long. I think the Bone Zone had a ruby. Am I just using this granite? Does that character have a granite? Sure, whatever. Seems good enough. I would highly recommend people just opt... Oh god, I forgot what it's like to play a character that actually has movement speed. Yeah, sure, why not? That seems fun. Wait, how does this character work again? Oh yeah, it's Rage. Okay, so I have a full explanation video on this already, but there's a lot of mechanics. It's Chainbreaker, it's Self-Chill, it's yada yada. I have explosions. I have ways to leech off those explosions, which Tanu then gives me adrenaline. I have Lethe Shade. So this is something you won't be able to do next league, is I have Lethe Shade on a dagger. So you're gonna have to figure that out. Because otherwise your self-chills... Oh my god, I need to use that ability.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Why am I not self-chilling? Oh. Cast. Whatever, I'll just manually cast it. Alright, it can't in this. Sure. Okay, whatever, this is scuffed. Otherwise, your self-chills don't last long enough. Was what I was going to get at. What aura did I just turn off? Sweet lord. Malevolence. Yeah, that seems fun. Okay, what do I have here? Some layers. That seems terrible. We'll just grab like a smattering of maps. I don't know. Meep and tab. Beautiful. Cannot regen, so don't do those. You can do a lot of map modifiers as RF. Don't do that one. Minus max. Sure, we can look at what minus max looks like. We look at no exposure, which is pretty relevant for this character. Can you not have these modifiers? Sure, something like this. I don't know, we'll do these. I don't know if I can do minus max, I don't remember. But we'll try. Okay, so what do I do on this character again? Are all my R's on? My golems aren't out though. Which is going to be annoying to do. Hold up. Normally you don't have to do this stuff because your golems are just out, but... Chaos? Am I one golem right now? I guess I am one golem right now. Maybe I was no golem. I remember using stone and chaos at some point, but we'll just have a stone golem, it's fine. You don't really need it, but it helps. You please do that on the Sanctum Relic, after that, yeah. Okay, so how does this work? I RF... Berserk, phase run, the end. I don't have a movement skill. Normally you would have a movement skill, but it's whatever. This character's a little scuffed. I don't remember what I did with it at the end. So as you can see, you enter the map. You don't have any rage. You're gonna have to wait a second for Chainbreaker to kick in, like this. You turn on your RF. You berserk. You phase run. Why am I not self-chilling right now? What did I just screw up? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you need to hit phase run every 4 seconds. Although something's wrong about it right now. Something feels wrong about it right now. I don't know what feels wrong about it. Something feels wrong. Either way, here's the build. You can see that rare died. There are some Ghost Exiles in this map that might bot me. This is not designed for this. I was doing magic finding with the polar guy and all that stuff. You see, it just kind of kills mobs. And remember, this is a minus max map, right? Granted, I have a mage blood on. I don't remember where the boss is. I was not paying attention. Is it up? Is it down? Is it all around? Oh, it's right. Much garbage on my screen. Normally, I would have mana to Stormbrand it. The reason you Stormbrand it is for application of things like... I don't actually remember. What was the reason I had Stormbrand? The explanation video has Stormbrand. I don't remember though. That's the boss. You can see it died pretty fast. What does this map have? They have AoE. They had 50% ES. I have minus max. It's not that bad. I don't portals. Portal gem. Probably a bigger shock from Shaper. Yes, that's what it was. Shaper of Storms. Yeah. I feel like there was something else too. I don't remember. Shaper of Storms definitely seems like the big one. Here's like a linear map, I guess. As I said, even though your phase run lasts longer than 4 seconds, you need to make sure you're clicking your phase run every 4 seconds for the self-chill. I have an Infernal Cry too, but I'm just not going to click the button. You don't need it for clear, it's just like for a little bit more bossing damage. You're going to have to forgive me, it has been like 2 or 3 weeks since I've played PoE. This is the build. You could probably make this on a budget. You're going to be slower. You're going to need to solve resistances. A big Stygian will help with the resistances. It shouldn't be that big a problem. You probably can't run minus max because you don't have as big of a Ruby Flask. You can still run a Ruby Flask if you want. It doesn't really matter, but... No. Brah. Alright. And then we'll do City Square. That'll be it for the showcases. Some things to consider is this Bottle Faith has huge charges when full. The reason I do that is so that every now and then I have Consecration for Rational Doctrine. You get a little bit of damage with it every now and then, but realistically it's just a supplier of 40% damage. You could probably use a regular Sulfur over it. Problem with a regular Sulfur is if you're using a Mage Blood, it has to be an actual regular Sulfur, so no real merit to that. How does this look? Oh, I triggered a guy somewhere. No idea where they are. Don't kill me, please. My marvelous machinations. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the build. It was just designed to run around, not think about anything. Don't do it, Ashley. I don't want to beg for my life. Some things to consider. I think this is all in the video. But you have a defensive aura. You have a pretty high uptime on Berserk, which gives you defensive applications. You're running around a lot. You chill a lot. Yada, yada, yada. It's actually pretty defensive. I think if you cared enough, you can push to 100 on this build, but you probably have to avoid dangerous mechanics. Nice filter. Yeah, that's it. I think we'll head over to Baldur's Gate now. I'll like clip all that. People can look at the 3 builds I played. Because it wasn't really a build. One of them was just a Cycloner. Oop. Yeah, that was fun. I didn't level this character, so this Righteous Fire character, I didn't level it beyond maps. Naturally, I did Legion 5 ways. I had all the gear ready. You can play, I don't know, play whatever. Play DD Ignite, play Wave of Conviction if your heart tells you to do that. You can play regular Righteous Fire. You could play, I don't know, Vixen's Ignite like Pock did. I think that build's pretty cool. And then once you have a bunch of gear, you can swap to it. Would be my recommendation.